Welcome back. In our yard, as spring has sprung, there's been several rabbits. And since I'm not into hunting rabbits, I thought I would draw a rabbit. So I'm going to show you a very simple way to approach this using the alphabet. The alphabet is something we all know and love and use all the time, but now we're going to use it instead of making words to make a bunny. So to start off, we're going to start with a letter V right in the middle of our paper. From that letter V in the bottom, we're going to just make it into a Y. After we've made that Y, we're going to take two letter U's, but we're going to sort of stretch that letter U out a little bit. So from the bottom of the Y, we're going to stretch that U out to one side. Then we're going to make another one going the opposite direction. After that, we're going to make one more U at the bottom of both of these, sort of making the chin of the rabbit. And we're going to use two diagonal lines going from the ends of these letter U's up past the nose area. You want to make sure to leave about a finger to 2 finger space on either side. Once you've got that, you're going to go ahead and do two letter O's, sort of slanted just a bit. These will obviously be for our bunny eyes. Now to do the ears, we're going to be making sort of an upside down letter V, but we're going to sort of bend the sides a little bit as well. We're going to go kind of crazy on this and go as far to the end as we can. We obviously don't want to go off the paper, but at the same time, we want to have some big ears. So we go to one side, then the other. Notice the space between. In order to connect that, just go ahead and make sort of a zigzaggy line. Inside of the ears as well, I go ahead and trace that same shape or that same line on both sides. Again, leaving a space, doing a sort of a zigzag line to show the fur. And then whatever eyes you'd like to make for your bunny. Maybe this bunny's going to be a little bit tired. Been going around hunting carrots. From the bottom where we put that last U, I'm going to use my finger as my measuring guide to figure out how far over I should go to make the shoulders. Maybe even add some whiskers. For the whiskers, I'm just putting my pencil down and throwing it to one side. They can be different sizes, doesn't really matter. Once you're done, you want to go over it with a Sharpie marker, something that is more permanent. Once you have it more permanent, you want to find some markers that are water-based or washable. The water-based washable markers are really neat because for coloring, when you're adding it in, you can use a paintbrush. And I will show you what that looks like. Right now, all I'm doing is outlining. I'm following the same black line that I used to make the bunny. And then I'm going to use a paintbrush and some water. I'm going to get a very interesting effect where the markers themselves will run. So they'll go right into the water and start spreading and making sort of a neat design. You can color your bunny any color. You can use the brown if you wanted to. You could use blue or green. It's up to you. I'm choosing a green bunny for mine. Some soft, gentle blue eyes here. And then when you're ready, you're going to get a paintbrush, just a little bit of water, and just by putting it into that marker, that color is going to run. Now, the reason why we did a Sharpie marker or a permanent marker is because permanent marker doesn't run. And that allows us to paint only the area that we touched with the marker. And there you go. Great thing is you can add a little extra, a little less. It still turns out pretty well. Then you can add anything you want in the background, maybe some flowers, or trees, maybe even some grass for the bunny to jump on.
Hello and welcome again. As you saw, we are working a little bit on cards, some fun things for the holidays coming up. Spring has definitely sprung, so we are going to be doing the bunnies, which are wonderful and beautiful. We also have our Passover Pete here for the holiday coming up. And these guys can be sent out just to your family, or we can also take them to nursing facilities. We have heard from our friends that they are able to accept packages that are a group of cards for the residents there, just to bring a little bit of love and comfort. But again, these can also be sent out to your friends or family that you haven't been able to be close to. And the one we're going to do next is this beautiful one with very easy to make. You can just use some things around the house to make some flowers for spring. You can imagine that these are Easter lilies if you'd like to, or they can just be spring flowers as well. You can do all sorts of different colors, but we got our nice grass there going on. So Lucy's going to help me out today. We're going to choose our colors. So as I said, things from around the house, old tissue paper. These are ones that I pulled out of packages, and also some construction paper. So what color would you like, Lucy? Would you like a blue?
Yeah.
Thought so. She likes blue. So we're going to first just start out with a construction piece of paper and fold it in half. Once we get that folded in half like a card, then we're going to pick out what colors we want for our flowers. Now I will tell you that I've already cut these into nice little squares, but of course not too difficult to do. Just take your tissue paper and cut them into some squares. And once you have those tissue papers cut into squares for your flowers, you also will need some green tissue paper if you have it to cut it into sort of a grass style. And again, if you don't have green and you just want to put that in with markers, or you just want to use some construction paper for grass, that works too. But what Lucy and I are doing right now is just going to cut up some grass and glue it on. So I take that piece of paper and I'm just going to cut it so I have a little grass. Lucy's over there doing the next step, which is to glue it down. But yeah, real easy to just cut yourself some grass. Make it about the size of the paper that you want it to be on. And then we glue it down. Once I get the glue on there, I usually like to put a little bit of a layer in there. If you'd like, you can do that so the grass is a little bit thick, or you can put a couple of different layers on. You can scrunch it up to make it fun so that it kind of looks like it has a little bit of 3-dimension. This is a fun thing to do with really small people. They like to scrunch and glue. Then you want to... Not you, huh? What color is your flower? You are not. What color are your flowers going to be?
Purple.
Okay, great. She's going to pull out her purple. And I usually like to just do a dot of glue to place the flowers. You can do 3, you can do 5, you can do 2, you can do 1 really big one. But once I have those dots of glue, then I can just take my piece of tissue paper and squish it up. And I can decide if I just want it to be one big clump of beautiful flower, or if I want to make a bunch of petals to go around a center, or if I want to make, like I said, the nice lilies with the yellow in the middle and the white around the outside. However you wish to do that. For this one, I'm going to go simple and just do some purple flowers. And maybe one red one off in the background. You may find that it's something you just enjoy doing, so once you start getting scrunching and squishing, you want to make a bigger flower. That's great. The next pieces are just going to be creating your stems. Very easy. Again, I'm going to just kind of measure it out so that I know, okay, that one's going to be that long. This one's going to be shorter. And this guy's going to be a bit longer in the back. So I'm just measuring it and cutting it as I go. How about you, Lucy? You ready for some stems? Ooh, she's making a whole field of flowers.
Only 6.
Only 6. Okay. I'm going to have to
The glue farted.
That glue. I'm going to draw in the lines, just a swip down to make a line for each of my stems. As Lucy's over there working to make hers too, you're going to have to make a lot of stems. There you go. I'll stick my stems in. I like to hide them behind the grass, but you know, they can go along as however you like. Looks like I made that one a little long. I'm going to trim it. Stick the other ones in here. Of course, the only other thing that we're going to need on our flowers would be some leaves. And since we have all this fun grass, you can even make some Easter eggs and hide them in the grass so that when they are delivered, folks can look around and see if they can find them. And I'm going to take those little pieces that I trimmed off. You're doing great over there. And make them into a nice little circle so that I can stick them on as leaves. This is so not a science, but much more just fun to clip and trim and you need a scissors.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. And share with your friend as you are making. But more importantly, these are to get sent out to the folks that we haven't had as much time this year to see and spend time with. And especially those that are in our nursing communities right now, or memory care facilities or nursing homes. What you'll find is that a lot of them don't have the ability to have any contact. So we hope that we can send off a little bit of a sunshine with these flowers and write a nice note inside and put them into one big envelope and drop them off at the outside of the nursing facilities. Of course, call ahead before you do and make sure that that is something they're willing to accept. But locally, we have found that they are open to that. So, some cards to send out for the holidays. Okay, so here's our beautiful, wonderful creations.
Ew.
Lucy has a little person trapped in the flowers, and Aria has some hidden eggs on the back. So again, you can...
Very hidden.
Not very hidden. Well, they're on the back. You can find many ways to make this fun and create something special to send out. I hope you enjoy it.
All right, so one of the things that we're going to get to do today is make a talking card. Now, since it's difficult to go out and buy a card for people, it's nice to make something at home. And it's sort of a nice surprise when they open it to see that their card is, well, mouthing to them. Some simple examples. We have a little robot here, Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto right there. Then we got Pete, guitar playing, Pete's carrying lion. And then to start this, you're going to need just 2 pieces of paper. The background paper is really up to you. I choose red, but you could do any color you want. These are 6 by 9 pieces. And what you're going to do is you're going to take it and fold it in half, making a vertical fold. Within that vertical fold, you're going to make one cut. Now, the cut itself should be somewhere in the middle, and the distance is really going to be up to you. But the idea is that you're putting a cut into the paper. You're not cutting anything out. Nothing came out. Once you've got that down, you're going to take 2 of the corners and fold it down, making it look sort of like the collar of a shirt. And you're going to turn the paper over and do the folds the opposite direction. And then you're going to bring them back. Then opening it up, you'll pop both of those collar corners up, fold it, so it looks like there's something missing. But when you open it, you have this sort of shape with inside. So now you're going to use your imagination and turn it into anything you'd like. The idea is that whatever you make, you want to start from the mouth. So if I was going to maybe do spring is sprung in my yard, so I'm going to make a nice flower. Flowers can talk. At least this one will be able to. The idea is you want to start with pencil. It's much easier to change your mistakes, turn them into something you want. if you start out with a pencil, once you're done with the pencil, you're going to go ahead and use your Sharpie marker or your normal marker, and you're going to color it in. Flowers among the grass. As you do so, you want to make sure that you're keeping the mouth open. You don't want to push the mouth too far back, otherwise you might not be able to see it or you'll have to push it through again when it's time to fold and glue. So the idea is that outlining it first, I always use the Sharpie marker for my outlines because it helps it to stay separate colors, gives it a nice crisp border. It's up to you though. There's really no wrong way to do it. I like to make flowers and send them to people. It's a fun and easy shape. People recognize it. Now, as time would have, I have one that is already outlined and also colored in. I have made a fish. The idea is that this fish is getting hungry, and our little worm friend is a little nervous about that. I have some pencil lines that I want to get rid of. It's a good idea to make sure that everything is finished the way you want to before you glue it in. Once it's glued in, it's a lot harder to make any of the changes. So it's a good idea to get all the areas that you want done completed. I'm going to add just a little bit of blue in here for my water. As you can see, our worm friend is kind of nervous, so we're going to go ahead and take our red piece of paper, fold it in half just like we did the white. Fold this, making sure that the pieces are folded up in. And then we're going to place it fold to fold. Now the real trick about this is to make sure that you glue the white paper. Do not put the glue on the red. Here's the reason. If you put the glue on the red, you might glue the mouth shut and then it won't open. But if you put it on the white, you shouldn't have any problems. So put it on the white, fold the red on top of it, give it a little glue massage, turn it over, open it up, adding to the white, using drops, not globs. Give it a little massage, and then when you open it up, you have your card. You can write whatever you want on the inside, maybe a little note on the outside, before putting it in an envelope and mailing it to somebody you care about.
The glue farted.